Today I'm going to show you how to make the ultimate fire starter. My family has been making these egg carton fire starters for years. They're just a wonderful fire starter, and you can make them with just stuff you have around the house, and they're a clean, easy way, a very compact way, so you don't have a bunch of newspapers and stuff all around your wood stove running a risk and just looking unsightly. Very, very efficient. But something different that we're going to do today, and I'm kind of curious about it myself because there has been a great controversy for a long, long time. Which is better? Which is better, whoops, of course, in the egg crate fire starters, dryer lint, which is right here. Mrs. W collects the dryer lint, keeps it in a bag, and when we run low, we make a few of these. Or sawdust. Some people say, no, it's not dryer lint, it's sawdust that is better. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make both. We're going to do 6 sawdust, and we're going to do 6 dryer lint, and we're going to do a burn off and find out once and for all which one's the best. So to get started, of course, what you want is to collect or just keep, if you have any extra candles. This was a broken one. I continue to break it up a little bit, and a metal can or some sort of a, don't use your wife's fancy saucepans for this because well, just don't do it. Get your own. But I've got some extra leftover wax in there, so we'll get started by putting these on the stove. All right, we'll get those melting in there while we'll prepare the egg crate. I'll be really curious to find out which one do you think is going to burn longer, or which one's going to be better. That's what it comes down to. Which one's in the sawdust or the dryer lint? I'm going to find out here. So today, we have, I'm ashamed to admit it, we both are. We talked about whether or not we should do a video on this. That's smoking quite a bit there. I think I better cooking it a little too fast. We have debated whether to share this in videos because we've been married now for 11 years or so. And we have a room in the back of the house that we call the cold room because it's not heated. It was a carport originally, and the previous owners closed it in, turned it into, it was kind of a workout room. And we have stored, for lack of a better word, or hoarded. I don't know if we're a hoarder. We don't exactly have aisles yet, but not too far from it. Just too much junk. You know, there's too much stuff in our life. You know, when we spent all day going through it. We took a whole load to the dump, and we were finding boxes and things that we have had unpacked since when we were single. And we've never been in there. So what does that tell you? What that tells us is that, well, if we haven't needed it in 10 years, then we don't need it. Now, what I'm starting to find, and Mrs. W says the same thing, is our life, it makes your life complicated when you have too many things. So we are absolutely resolved, and we're on the same page to completely purge. And I'm not kidding when I say this, but probably 60 to 70, maybe even 75% of our possessions out of our house. Duplicates of things. We have so many families here that are in need, and they're members of our local church that could use things that we have that we just don't use anymore. And it makes it easier for us to give those things away, but it feels so good. I want to have one hat, you know, a winter hat, maybe a summer hat. I want to have a one quality pair of gloves. I don't want to buy so many things and have so many possessions in my life, but to spend a little bit more money and buy quality, one quality item, rather than having half a dozen or a dozen low quality items. More to come on that, but boy, it's something that has been a long time coming, and we're really excited about it. Okay, so there you have it. So we have half the sawdust and we have half the dryer lint, and I'm just waiting for this wax to melt. So to do this, if you haven't seen these before, we'll take the wax and then we'll melt it along the top. And what that does is that holds that all in there. And what the neatest thing about it is you can just close this up here and you can just throw it on top of your kindling box here. As you can see, I've brought my Nana box there. That's where we keep our kindling. And then when we're ready to use it, you just simply tear one of these off. Oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. You just tear one of those off and then put it under your kindling, and it makes a wonderful fire starter. So I pack them in there nice and tight. I don't know that we can get too much. So I'll put this wax on here, and then we'll go outside think I'll probably put a little bit more of that sawdust in here. So this sawdust here is just from my chainsaw mill. But if you can use anything you have a table saw, look under your table saw or your miter saw, anything like that will work. Chainsaw shavings work really good. Speaking of chainsaw shavings, talked to my friend Nick Bailey today, who's bringing up the Lucas sawmill, and he is, it might be up here soon. Could be a week, anywhere between a week and 3 weeks. Depends on when he's able to break free. But look forward to that. That's coming up. Okay, I think our wax is melted. Okay, so we've got our wax melted there, and there's just a mishmash of wax there. We got all types of stuff. Just your leftover candles. You know that last little bit that doesn't cover them. Oh, good thing Miss Stubby's not here to see this, man. I'm gonna have to get my own kitchen. I don't know how sustainable this is. Me being in her new kitchen, doing all this stuff. We'll pour that on there. So also I have a question for you. So I am thinking about getting a second AR-15. I've got a Frankenstein gun, meaning one that I've built from mismatched pieces. And, I'm not super happy with it. I've had some reliability issues with it. I want a factory gun. And I think I've narrowed it down between two. Between a Colt, just the standard M4 Colt brand, all Colt factory gun, mil spec, or the Smith & Wesson M&P, the sport series. They're pretty affordable. The Colt is around $1,000. The Smith & Wesson is going to be around $700 or so. Oops, maybe a little bit less. Those of you guys that have experience with those two, and I'm probably not going to do anything outside of that. It'd be one or the other. I've done a bit of research. Tell me which one you recommend and why. If you have one or you have both, or what you think in the comments. I'd be really interested to see your insight. Look at that. Isn't that nice there? That's all baked in there. So we'll let that dry a little bit, and then we'll take it outside and we'll do a burn off, and we'll find out which one works better. Here we go. All right, let's get to the burn off. So how do you determine a winner? What are we looking for? I'm saying a couple of things. I'm going to use the scissors here and just cut these out. You could tear them, but I want them to be as close to these scissors are not very good, as close to the same as possible, so everything is fair. There's the dryer lint. Combination of a couple things. What I'm thinking is ease of lighting, right? That's important. Ease of lighting, as well as intensity of flame and longevity. How long does it burn? We got a pretty good stiff wind out here too. That might make things interesting, but I'd say that these are pretty close representation here, right? Size-wise, everything being the same. So first off, I can't light them both at the same time. Of course, it's going to be windy here. I've got them on a piece of pine wood. Let's start with this one. All right. Of course, when we're lighting in our wood stove, we're not going to have the wind, but it's a real life test. The dryer lint, of course, is very easy to light. Let's see about the sawdust. Okay, that's going to take a second match. Okay, that lit good too. Okay, here they go. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we're 1 minute in, and getting a little bit of impingement there for each other. Well, the wind, I guess it's going back and forth. A little bit of swirling wind. But looks like they're both burning pretty good. We'll see what happens at the 5 minute mark. But I think that goes to show how long these things burn. They're burning really intense, and it's only been, don't burn the camera. It's been over a minute now. And look at how windy it is. Even with all the wind, you can't blow them out. They really are wonderful fire starters. So this is kind of interesting. So we're at the 5 minute mark, and it's been really windy, and it hasn't blown them out. We've got the dryer lint on the right. We've got the sawdust on the left. It's the sawdust one on the left. The sawdust, it's lasting longer. It's bigger. This one, the dryer lint on the right, is getting down in size. It's probably maybe 15% smaller than the sawdust on the left. So let's see if it goes 10 minutes and what they look like then. We just reached the 10-minute mark, and I've got to say I am thoroughly impressed. I had no idea these would burn so long and with such intensity. Well, I can say that the sawdust is superior, but I can also say that the dryer lint is excellent too. I'm guessing, we're not going to go any longer, that's long enough, but I am guessing that these would both burn for probably over 20 minutes. I mean, we haven't even got down into the bottom yet, and they're still almost their original size. That's pretty incredible, and that's outside in very damp conditions, high humidity, and all types of swirling wind. So I have to say, you probably, for a homemade fire starter, are not going to do better than this. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video.